WKNC 88.1 HD2 Raleigh. I'm not super used to being on this channel, so I'm excited for anyone that's tuned in. This is the very first ever interview for DBB 17 discussing one of our artists. I've got 3 members of Vacant Company in the studio. They're going to be opening up night 1 of Double Barrel Benefits 17. For anyone who has not been paying attention to the mass amounts of promos that we've been running, it's going to be February 7th and 8th at King's in downtown Raleigh, and Vacant Company is going to be playing first. If y'all want to go down the line, and I keep breathing really heavily into the mic, I just noticed that. ASMR style. We're going to do the rest of this interview ASMR. So really soft and quiet. Tommy's not going to like that. But if y'all want to go down the line and introduce yourselves, say who you are and what you do in Vacant Company, as well as shouting out the member who's not here, that would be super sick.
Logan Saxwell is not here. He is not present, correct?
He is not here.
He's not going to walk in last minute?
Correct.
Kind of disappointing. I love a surprise guest.
He didn't give us a reason, so I have to think he just doesn't want to be here.
I think he just took a nap. You know, why don't we start with the drummer? The drummers don't get enough love.
They never
you know?
get enough. Photographers don't take pictures of them. They also never get good photos when they do.
You know,
It's true.
Never trust anyone who has like a stoic drumming face.
Dave is very stoic. Go ahead, Dave.
Really? Okay.
Hi, I'm Davis, and I play the drums with Vacant Company.
You're also a WKNC alumni.
DJ Sonny D.
Nice.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He Jason always refers to him via text as the prog rock master or like post punk or something.
Post-hardcore master, right
Post-hardcore
there.
master. See, I don't read his texts. I just I just keep scrolling. You know what? Before we continue the rest of the line, when were you working at WKNC?
It must have been the fall of 2012. I think.
So a little while ago.
Sophomore year.
Did you go to DBB back then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that must have been the 11th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do math. I feel like that's correct.
Dave loves math
that
rock,
sounds right. I'm
so
just
he could
agreeing.
probably help you out there.
There we go. Time signatures and basic algebra.
We won't go down that rabbit hole. Sorry, I don't mean to digress.
No, actually, the very last time that Double Barrel sold out was 2011, so super stoked to be doing it again 2019. If we don't sell out this year, I will quit my job. And before I continue embarrassing myself by stressing out over promotions, let's go to the next person on the lineup.
Hey y'all, I'm Tommy.
Big time Tommy.
Sometimes known as Big Time Tommy, among other things.
In what situations are you big time Tommy?
Ooh, can we
When
talk
I'm in the
about that on
kitchen,
air?
when I'm whipping up the sauce, when I'm getting the heat turned up,
Wow.
all of that.
We got the heat turned up for this interview. I got lots of questions.
Oh,
Well, Big Time Tommy's here for all your questions. Nothing
And-
below the belt, though, right? Be nice. All right?
I will. Only good things so that people actually want to come to the show.
Okay, good.
Yeah, nothing dirty except for thirst. Anyway.
yeah, shout out.
Anyways, last but not least.
Well, my name is Jason. Sometimes I go by Dr. Raza Ghul. Sometimes I go by Jengus.
Genghis Balrangle.
Yeah. As long as you don't call me an a-hole, I'm fine with whatever name. I guess I'm doing good. But yeah, I play guitar and shout in this band.
And
Who's the front
don't
man?
wear a shirt.
Yeah, I thought about it, and I was just like, I used to start off with the shirt,
And then you would take it off.
Yeah, but then it gets all sweaty, so now it's just like I have a towel that
Yeah.
I dry off with after the gig, and then I put on a nice dry shirt, and I'm comfortable.
That
So-
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's life's great now that I figured that out.
Now
But-
that you've got your system.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're entertainers, the four of
Of
us.
course.
We like to give people a show, and sometimes you just have to give the people what they want.
One of my
And sometimes they
favorite
demand it.
Sometimes they demand it,
Take the shirt off.
I'm not going to, I won't say no.
Doesn't matter who's asking, the shirt's coming off. But one of my favorite things about a Vacant Company show is that you are entertainers, and there's always that slight fear that I have that you're like having a heart attack or something. Because oftentimes you'll
I have high
collapse.
blood pressure, yeah.
You'll collapse during a set.
I've
and I'm
actually
like,
had heart attacks on stage. I don't know if you guys know that.
I did not know
I
that.
shouldn't joke about that. I mean, I might have.
You never
I don't
know.
I mean, my chest did get pretty tight a few times during hopscotch at Lincoln Theater.
You
But
tell us, you're the doctor.
I don't know, but
Davis
I mean,
is giving me this side eye, like, oh,
I
we're
cut
gonna
down.
need a new front man.
I cut down on the red meat though, and I feel a lot better on stage. I can
Yeah,
jump
yeah, yeah.
around. You know, I feel much more athletic. I don't know.
Mm-hmm,
I feel less like a 78-year-old man trying to.
And more like
It's
a
that-
what? Like a 50-year-old man?
Yeah, probably more like 45. Somebody with half the
Ooh.
cholesterol.
You
know?
haven't even had a midlife crisis yet.
Not yet. I haven't, and knock on wood, I haven't had a heart attack either.
No, it's not the red meat. It's that champion fit.
It's that champion
Is,
fit.
champion
Yeah.
fit? Is that actually what you're wearing today?
Yeah, I have on.
Let's get,
Get
some
closer to the
branded
mic so the radio
advertising.
can hear
Man,
you.
that just totally doesn't match up with my ideals to like promote a corporate fitness brand, right? I wear champion because my old man gave me his champion jumpsuit and it's comfortable. It's
vintage.
Late to this interview, all right?
Ooh, vintage. It's dead stock. Hey, Champion, Double Barrel Benefit is accepting sponsors. We don't close sponsorship applications until mid-January, so...
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. I talk about, you know, we try not to, you know, play into the game or anything, but you know, we are pursuing a Cento Italian conglomerate food corporation sponsorship for our East Coast tour of the south of Italy. So, Cento, if you're out there, you're listening, you know, we're still on the market. Nobody scooped us up yet. So
I would truly love to get like some local clothing brand or even like a really big like clothing conglomerate to like outfit one of the bands for DBB and everyone just goes on stage wearing like Juicy Couture jumpsuits or something.
So it's like we're trolling them, but we also look good.
You look good.
Really good.
And you know what? It's a double barrel benefit. You
know what?
They get advertising, you get new clothes.
See, who thought art and capitalism can't go together? We just found it. That's the idea. It's this kind of stuff that we got to start thinking about.
You're
guys.
right. You're pop rock
How to
now.
get Juicy Couture to sponsor, you know, hardcore shows and stuff.
There you go. But I made the joke, you're pop rock, which is absolutely not true. How would you define your genre?
Well, after pop rock, probably. Well, you know, let's go down to the
Weird mental tangent really quick. I would love to hear what your vocals sound like if you had like a mouthful of pop rocks at the
pop
same
rocks.
time.
Is that it?
Pretty much.
That's
you could
it?
do like the
Dude. Also, a weird tangent regarding pop rocks. I saw Jonesy from Sigur Rós recently, and
Yeah.
they had pop rocks that they passed out to the entire audience.
Those were
So
not
the-
pop rocks.
Oh,
You know what? You
whoa!
might
Sounds
be
like
right.
a good time.
But it was a sonic experiment to like listen to their music while all this stuff was going on inside your head. I don't know.
That's kind of interesting.
I enjoyed
Wow,
it.
really?
But I was in
That's,
Denver, Colorado. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, really cool, Tommy. So we're gonna.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
So pop rock is the genre, right?
Very possibly.
We need to get into pop rap because that's apparently how we get on everybody's Spotify
Spotify
plays.
rap.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I think, in short, you know, Nate Stokes of an awesome band named Witch Tit, I think, had us
Fuck yeah.
pegged all along. He said, post everything.
It's okay. You're good.
What the fudge? Oh, fudge.
Every hair
favorite
on my
flavor of
body
Ben
is
and Jerry's.
raised.
And yeah, Nate Stokes of Witch Tit, good friend of ours, awesome band. They played last night, and he said that we're just post whatever. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I accept that. I accept that.
I think that's an accurate classification.
Just,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that into art and stuff, so I can't
You're just
really
like
say.
polita-rock, essentially.
Yeah.
Post music.
You know, I like to think we're a blend of
Post-music.
like, it's like Ian MacKaye meets like Bruce Springsteen meets like I don't know, some other
Well,
cool guy. I don't know.
I do
Just throw
know
some
that
Billy Corgan in
Some
there.
Billy-
Oh, you got it.
God.
you can classify music or a musician one of two ways. You're either a heartland rocker
Yes.
or you're an urban hipster metrosexual. And
So
I think
why
Vacant
can't you
Company
be
is
both?
3/4 Heartland rockers.
Why can't you just be both? I don't know why it's a dichotomy these days. Everyone
Porque
just
no los dos. Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
It kind of sounds like
That's-
you do make the rules.
No, I have his own authority.
So this is how we talk to each other around the house. So
I love it.
Tommy talks in like good old boy, like consulting firm boss. Like now
Because
again,
the
remember
three
what
of
I
you are
told you?
roommates, right?
We are. The three of us
Yeah.
are roommates. And Logan used to live with us, but he had to get his own place. We love him, but you know,
He needed a
he's-
break.
he needed a break.
Understand.
He needed a
Understandable.
quiet space to nap.
He needed a quiet space to nap, and you know what? He got it. Yeah, but Tommy often, you know, walks around the house talking like, well, now again, I said I was going to unload the dishwasher, but I'm not quite sure it's ready to get ran yet. So- or big time Tommy voice, you know, which which we'll get to that later. But
I'm excited.
You know.
There's a few.
you know what I'm trying to say is Vacant Company is like an onion. You know, we have layers.
It's got layers.
We got layers.
And you're all ogres.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you're post whatever.
Mhm.
If someone were to try to get an example of the kind of music that you make, which is post whatever,
Mhm.
do each of you have a favorite song or record that you have out, or just something that you feel is representative of your musical influence? Big question.
Man,
Well,
we could go.
I'll go first here.
Cool.
Because
The
like,
quiet one's like, I'm ready to speak.
Dave
I
has
know
been
this one.
waiting
I
for
know
this
this one.
question ever since he joined the band.
Excuse me.
yeah, no, like so I came in late to the Vacant Company party.
He was
but-
in the house when our previous drummer, Jeff Quinn, Tommy's brother, threw his drumstick and said, I quit. We were like, okay, Jeff.
And
then
Dave was like, my time.
he was sitting in the other room listening to the whole thing. Everyone's fine. We're all friends. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have to be friends. It's literally your brother.
Yeah. Oh,
Pointing at
yeah,
Big Time
of
Tom.
course. Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of things I could say to you right now, Jeff, but I can't say them on the radio.
Is he tuned in?
Brotherly love.
I don't know. Let me text him.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah. But I don't want to open any old wounds. But back in the days of
But I'm going to open them.
the Kosher Hut, I met Jason. I was working at the Park Shops,
Very cool.
Port City, Java,
Nice.
and he would come in
They
and
said
let me know
long
about
hair.
shows. Like we kind of talked about music at the counter,
Cool.
and eventually I realized that he was like booking East Coast touring
Mhm.
bands at his house, and so I met those guys. The middle, the next to last year before like Kosher Fest.
Cool.
And so I was like a huge fan.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, they were my favorite local band
They're
for
my favorite
a year
local
and a
band.
half
Here,
before
Dave.
I had even thought about
That's true.
trying to play drums with them. Yeah,
Don't make me cry, man.
so yeah, I mean, like Doom Waves.
Yeah.
The single, any of the tracks that they recorded in Kosher Hut, I always
Yeah.
go back and listen to those.
Did you get to learn how to play any of them? Do y'all even play those like deep cuts?
We play one deep cut.
One deep cut.
We were going strong with like Bad Borders into like Doom Waves
Mhm.
Nice.
as the ender for the set when I first started.
Yeah.
And I mean, both those songs were, I had moshed like, dozens of times to each of them. And so we picked them up pretty quickly.
Oh hell yeah.
But I liked how we pushed forward a lot, and they were definitely down to just keep plugging away and writing new music so that we could always like throw some new stuff in and out of the set list,
I'm gonna make a mental note to come back to that comment. But beforehand, what are some other recommendations that you'll have?
Tommy listens to a lot of World.
I meant of your band.
That was, I didn't understand the question. I was like, dang, the influence that Dave picked was ourselves. Nice.
You know what? Thanks, Dave. That means a
Well, you
lot.
can definitely.
Big ups.
You're more than welcome to reference other artists that would be like, listen if you like type stuff. But I mean, like, if someone were to go to your Bandcamp page, you have like several uploads there, and they're like, where would I start? Where would you say they should start?
I think that really it's just like what comes to my mind, what influenced this band was the people that have been in this music scene before us, like
Yeah.
Pie Face Girls, Flesh Wounds, like Naked Naps. I know you probably don't
Rest
listen to
in
the
peace.
company and think Naked Naps, but like
Yeah.
Katie Yerkes was like one of the first people I met here, and she was the first person like give me a show. And this was after I'd already been a fan of Naked Naps because I moved into
For
this
like a hot
apartment.
minute, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, so that's what I gravitated towards, because that was like, those were like the people I knew that were making awesome music, and that like was that just, I internalized that. So, and I think Tommy as well, because Tommy was playing in local bands at the time before he joined Vacant Company. So like the influences were definitely like people who were already here.
Yeah.
So I think that was cool to recognize that. So, but then we also bonded over like when Tommy moved in, we only listened to like Alice in Chains.
Nice.
Alice in Chains, man. You know.
Jar of Flies
But,
was a hard
Alice in
record.
Yeah, and but I guess probably, and then when Dave entered the group, that's when we kind of started bonding more over like Slant, Juno 44, like the Louisville, Kentucky post rock, post hardcore stuff, and then obviously
That
like,
college rock coming
that
up.
college rock, yeah, absolutely, and like we've always all kind of just appreciated Fugazi and stuff like that, but
I mean, duh.
yeah, and obviously Greta Von Fleet, they're a big influence of ours, and because
Y'all
they're
ever
the
heard
last
of
of the
Led
rockers.
Zeppelin?
Aero Zeppelin actually was our biggest influence. So
I did not know.
they were a band that toured the Southeast in the late 70s. Yeah, and I think their work really got stolen up by a few other bands. I don't know if you know them, but they, yeah, no, those are there's a lot of things that go into it. But that was a long-winded response. Tommy's probably got like some jazz he wants to talk about or something. So
I'm not even gonna let him speak. Actually,
It's probably for the best.
I
come
think
on.
like 10 minutes into this interview, I think I've kind of already figured out where it's gonna go. Where I cannot just like pinpoint something and be like, I'm gonna circle back. I'm just gonna follow the flow with this one. But you did make a comment that I'd like to bring up, which is, and like Davis also mentioned this, like y'all had been playing for like a year and a half before he joined, and then you were inspired by other local music that had been going on when you had moved into the area. Since y'all have been a band for, excuse me for using this phrase, quite some time now.
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Raleigh Old Heads, actually.
Wow. I'm growing a ponytail out of the back of my skullet right now. You guys can't see
Your
it.
skullet? Is that where your like skull connects to your
So-
gullet and just?
So yeah, a skullet is like a mullet without the front of the hair.
Oh,
so, yeah,
sick.
It's a very popular look in like the Rust Belt, like Detroit, Cleveland. Lots of skullets, on the Harleys out in the summer times. Feet up, hair back.
I can't remember.
Something
this-
for Bad Girl to grab onto when she's back there.
Yeah, and they always got their old lady on the back.
Y'all met Honey, who works over at the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, of course we know Honey. Honey's a good
They
friend
have
of
a
ours.
skullet.
Honey's rocking
The
a
skullet.
badass do right now.
Yeah.
And I think I want to go out on a limb and say in the Raleigh area, I think Honey was one of the people that started doing that first. So that I noticed,
for sure.
And also, obviously, you could tell with is it Grubbs?
Chris Groves, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Grubbs literally has a mullet down to his booty right now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I saw
It's
him out the other
intense.
night and it got even longer. And I was just like,
I mean, hair do be growing.
It's a work
yeah,
of art.
Yeah, it
well,
is a
my
work of
question
art.
for you was going to be, since I said y'all have been around for a while, do you experience a disconnect between bands that are like coming up now, or like we've got a lot of like newer artists on the lineup, some like not all of them, like Junior Astronomers is coming out from Charlotte and they've been like doing stuff for over a decade at this point. But do you feel as though you're still in tune with newer artists that are coming? Like, do you have any current local favorites, or is there like a separation between old Raleigh bands and new Raleigh bands?
I don't think so. We're always out. We are always out listening to music. Going.
I mean,
to
y'all
all
are
that
tight
stuff.
with like Black Bouquet, and they're really new.
I was literally just gonna say Black Bouquet is like a newer band, and we love that band. We gravitate towards that band, and just and I don't think that like we were never like as a band like we've been playing in Raleigh for a while now, but we were never like in the cool kid crowd. Like Tommy was kind of just like in a storage unit in his flip flops, shredding hot licks, and I was new to town. And
Riff
Davis,
City.
yeah, I know. And Davis was always so we were never, we never really had too much of a connection really into like the downtown scene, if you call it that. And it's just
Yeah.
we kind of just found ourselves playing shows with like really good bands that gave us a shot. So with that being said,
Shout
I
out
think,
to Dear Horse.
yeah, Dear Horse, yeah,
For real.
and they're an awesome band, yeah, and but just like my first show ever, Katie Yerkes again was with Flesh Wounds and Pie Face Girls at the Mattress Fort, rest in peace.
That's tight.
And it was just like I didn't know anybody there, nobody knew me, but they were nice enough to like give me a shot. So I'm always looking for. And not just to give someone a shot like I'm some gatekeeper. It's just like there's awesome music out there. It's not the same four white dudes that have been walking around downtown Raleigh playing kitchen rock or whatever for the past 5-6 years. Like there's amazing artists in Raleigh that nobody knows about.
We're really stoked for
That-
Double Barrel to showcase some of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And that's just what I was saying. You have so many bands that are on that bill that aren't like huge names that like ring a bell to everybody in the scene, but once they go out and see them, I promise you they're going to remember them, right?
Oh,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some big names like y'all and
Right,
Truth
right.
Club that'll definitely draw.
Oh my God! I
severely.
can't believe you just put us. Truth Club is and that Truth Club's up there. Thank you
Truth Club is
for putting us in the
up
same
there.
sentence. That's a band right there.
I
we
do think
love
that
that
y'all
band.
have like significant draw, and obviously Truth Club does within their own sphere of influence, because not at all the same genre.
Well, I see. Truth Club has an influence because they're an amazing band. I think we
and
have,
also Astro Cowboy.
and Astro Cowboy. We were Dave. What were we talking about
We were
before we
just
came in?
talking
We
about-
were literally just listening to Truth Club before we came in here, and we were talking about
Gotta
how
get the hands.
yeah, we were talking about how Astro Cowboy, that album was like one of our favorite albums.
Which one?
The one that The last one that they did. Well, the
We
second
have
last one
Astro
that they
Cowboy, and you're never going to see him again.
did. No, the one
Or-
before that, when they were still in Wilmington, when they're still in like high school, and
Yeah,
Travis
yeah.
was like still in
Oh,
high school.
It's the white one.
Yeah.
I can literally
Yeah, exactly.
see
Wasted time for useless. Yeah, Travis is like a hero of mine, and like I didn't
It's
know.
weird that I'm friends with him.
I didn't know that they were in high school when they recorded that, and
Yeah.
I was like in graduate school at NCSU, and then I'm just like, wow, you're like
I
a
also
rock star
love
to
that
me,
we
and
both
you're like
sang
way
the
older than me.
same song.
I know.
Yeah. That's the influence.
Yeah, but it's just like, so we're flattered to even be put in the same category as Truth Club. But what I was
Yeah.
going to say was they have a following because they're a really great band. And I
Yeah.
think we have a following because we're like half Chippendales dancers. So people come out to the show.
Oh, you're like the Rockettes.
You know, we're just, like I said, we're entertainers.
Dude, I would love to see y'all in like burlesque clothes doing a set. But I mean like burlesque clothes on the feminine side. Like I want the
Right.
big ruffly feathers and everything.
We can do that. You know what?
Yes.
Like we said, we're entertainers.
Yes. Vacant Company, you heard it here. We'll do anything for a buck.
We'll do anything for a buck, man. We're just
For
trying
a
to eat
buck
out here.
and a show.
Do anything for a laugh.
I'm going to turn this next question over to Davis really quick. Because you've been involved with Double Barrel, and I guess technically any of y'all can answer it, what experience do you have with, or I meant to say WKNC, what experience do you have with Double Barrel in the past? Have you ever been? Is there anything you're particularly excited for? So on and so forth.
Yeah, I think the year I trained as a DJ at KNC, I took a break from school like the following semester, and I came back and got in touch with either Jamie Lynn or the new manager, like the new GM at WKNC, about like volunteering
Yeah.
and just kind of getting back into it because like there was kind of a turnover, so a lot of the people who I had trained with but never
We
really got
always
to
have a high
meet,
staff turnover rate.
you know.
Yeah.
So I think I set up tables for the
Sick.
year after, and that was super cool because like that gave me my first exposure to like the inner local scene.
Yeah,
sort
yeah,
of just
yeah.
like, you know, I mean, I've always been kind of shy, so it wasn't like, you know, just like trying to meet all the artists or anything like that, but just like being around, you know, that atmosphere and just like really trying to support the local scene.
Yeah.
You know, was it was like a strong sort of feeling there. And
Funnily enough, setting up the Double Barrel table was also the very first volunteer activity that I ever did for KNC.
nice.
I wasn't even a DJ yet. We had just finished the class, and the general manager when I started was Jamie Holla. And he, which was weird because it was Jamie G and Jamie H, and you had to differentiate between the two because if you were like, where's Jamie? They'd be like, which one? But they were both teaching like the DJ training class, and they were just like, you know, you're about to take your test. We need volunteers. Come sign up for this thing. You still got to pay your ticket, but it was really cool. I just remember I was like, I was running the merch table for DBB, and I was like, I am so stoked that I'm involved with this organization. So it's really exciting to now get to book my own lineup.
And they've been amazing so far. So
I definitely agree. All of the Double Barrels that I've been to have just blown my socks off. But I'm dead serious. We have to sell out this year. I'm like really determined
we're
to do
pulling
so.
out all the stops.
All of the stops.
All the stops.
There were never any stops in the first place, but we're ripping up negative space stops.
We're gonna get them out.
We're gonna shoot for the moon. Have y'all played other? I hesitate to say the word festival because that's not what this is. But like, do you have any other experience with like big lineups or things that like get you excited to play on a similar like setting?
Mm-hmm.
New Year's is pretty good lineup.
Yeah,
Very
if you want to
stoked on
mention that, feel free to do so.
It's what's the official name?
It's like the Kosher Hut
Kosher
comeback.
Hut New Year's
New
Fears.
New Fears.
New Year's
Fears
Trip.
Eve.
New Year's
Trip
Fears.
down memory
Yeah.
lane, and all of the groups that are playing except for one are Kosher Hut alumni bands,
Yeah.
and then the other artist on that bill is Juice Lord, who's
We're open
I think
for
he's only been
Juice.
playing shows for like a year and a half or two
No,
2
because
years.
he
Very-
played Double Barrel 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
That was probably near the very beginning because me and Jason went to his birthday.
That's my man's
show at
right there.
King's.
Juice is my man's.
He just
And-
played Hopscotch too.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
been making big waves, and
Yeah.
I'm-
I can't believe we're opening for Juice. Like you
Yeah.
understand how stoked we are to open for Juice Lord. Like we're gonna have to come out as hard as we possibly ever come
Love
out.
to hear Jason eat like several slices of humble pie during this interview.
I'm just saying, Juice Lord is the. I can't say the S word. S-H-I-T. I can't say that. Well,
They used to write them on a
is-
chalkboard.
he
You
is
can
the
say they
hot-ish.
kick ass.
He is the hot-ish.
Ass,
Yeah.
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 It's just like Juice is
you can
somebody
say ass,
that, yeah.
just not ass.
Wait, let's just say what all can we say? We'll just go through
You
the
can
list.
say ass. You
right.
can say goddamn.
God damn.
Goddamn.
You can say bitch.
Really?
Ooh.
You can.
Bitch, goddamn. All right, cool.
None of us in the room can say the N word, but that's allowed to go over the air. Don't say it though.
Right.
I can't know. We've recently allowed our DJs to say pussy, so you can say that too.
Mhm.
I can't imagine why you would say that.
Yeah, I stopped using that one too.
Yeah. Well, I love the band Mannequin Pussy.
They're playing then? Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
can't
that's
promote.
tomorrow
They're playing
night.
it.
Tomorrow night, y'all gonna be there?
Hell, heck yeah.
Maybe.
Can I say hell?
You can say
Oh,
ho.
hell yeah.
You can
Hell
say
yeah.
heck yeah.
The radio
And Stevie's opening that show.
Yeah.
Stevie is a band that
Stevie
is a
rules.
newly formed band that you're kind of talking about, but yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also say pissed off, but not pissed.
Ah.
What?
Mhm.
Mm.
What about without the ED, the non?
You can say piss.
Okay.
Mhm.
I love the way you just spit that out. Just piss.
Yeah. It's a deep reference. I'm not gonna go there.
Man, the layers of Tommy Quinn you don't understand. Like Tommy's Inner Country
He's an
Boy.
onion all of himself.
Oh, and just
Yeah.
like you keep peeling down, you get way down deep in there, and you find just a good
I
down
don't-
home country boy.
I don't like to be peeled, but sometimes.
Sometimes.
It is pretty nice to get peeled every now and then.
I'm gonna cry over here like the onion. This is some good old bonding. Anyways,
Only certain people.
let's take a quick air break. I'm gonna play one of y'all's songs. We have in rotation "Dirty Thirst," "Colonize," and "Stains on the Pavement." Which one do you want to hear?
Ooh. You know what? What do you guys
I just
think?
said colonize. It's decolonized.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do not
Very
colonize.
important. No. And well, you know what? I think that Dirty Thirst is a crowd favorite. We're just gonna come out with that so we don't lose anybody. All right, lock it in.
That sounds good. All right, this is WKNC 88.1 HD2, DJ Beowulf interviewing Vacant Company. The next song you're going to hear is Dirty Thirst by Vacant Company, and then we're going to come on back. Keep it locked. That song was Dirty Thirst by Vank and Company.
Sung by Jake from okay.
If only. I wish there was a recording of Jake doing that song. He's actually listening right now, so a little personal shout out to Jake from, I almost said his name in my phone. Jake from Black OK.
What up, Jake?
Also, quick shout out to Michael Bumbaloo.
Michael Bumbaloo.
Who texted me during the interview correcting me on Astro Cowboy's album title because I had a small stroke and couldn't remember the name, and it's Hedonism Coliseum. So shout out to Real Ones Looking Out, Michael Bumbaloo. They're the best. And also Julian Waits is super tight.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that was Dirty Thirst. Tell me a bit about the album and the record, or the song and the record that it's on. I'm just dying over here.
Okay.
I'm stuttering left and right. Y'all got me nervous.
Nah, we're just like, we never really think about this stuff.
Well, you and I already talked about this album, so just lather, rinse, repeat exactly what you said last time.
That album was off of an album that an EP actually called Decolonize that we recorded with the Missy Things and the Allie Bloys, Allie B at Fidelitorium.
We were talking about Truth Club, and Allie Bloys mixed their album too.
See, the usual
Legendary.
suspects just added. And that record was a real turning point for us.
Great record.
Can you do like a little
Great
like
record.
John Lennon Liverpool accent for this part?
Great record. And we went into the studio and we put it down, and there was someone there that I knew very well, and he put me in that.
You gotta pinch your nose a little bit, get more
More
nasal.
nasally there.
Perfect.
And we laid the record down. And
No, it's not very good. But
Sick John
I
Lennon.
do a better Ringo. I got a song about an octopus. But
I mean, you really just gotta like talk slow, and that's Ringo. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Talk
that's
slow
so
and round
mean.
out your vowel sounds.
It's so mean.
Well, he's just a very relaxed gentleman.
He's
No more
Richard
fan
Starkey,
mail.
No more fan mail. But yeah, and that record was a turning point for us just creatively, because we kind of really got encouraged by the, Dave had entered the band at that point and changed things, and Missy Things was really the person that was the cornerstone for us there.
Mm-hmm.
She really pushed us, to lay that thing down, because she's just an amazing producer, engineer.
And y'all are working on an upcoming album, also produced by her, correct?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're
I did my homework.
Yeah, so we're heading into uncharted territory. Davis is actually riding his bike across the country around the time we're going to record that record.
He's betraying you.
But yeah, so we're we have some songs ready for that, and we're kind of just like nailing down dates. We're going to get ready to do that in the near future. But Dave is going to be taking a trip of a lifetime
Dave's
somewhere
tired of
around
this
that
interview.
time.
They
It's
tell
like,
me
it's
they're
my
gonna
nap
try
time.
to schedule a tour around like the dates where I hit major cities.
That'd be insane.
Yep.
And do like
Can
every
you
other
imagine
weekend
hopping
or
off your
something.
bike and then going to play a show?
And if he's late, we're just going to go pick him up.
He's going to get mad tired and be like, can y'all just drop me off at the next please?
I mean, Dave, you think we're playing, but like we're booking a tour around your little trip across
No
the country.
cap.
All right,
They're gonna
no
do
cap,
it.
man.
Like
Bet,
that's
for
like
real.
the two biggest life goals that I've ever had is like ride my bike to the Pacific Ocean and play a tour in the U.S. Like,
See?
so if I can knock them out both in 1 year,
Really, you're just gonna say it with your chest?
Wow,
Wow, that's two
Dave-
in one interview.
Dave's the Iron Man.
Tommy was the first.
Wow.
No, he said if I could knock it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought you said like
If I can knock him out.
freaking knock it out, and I was
Nope.
like, oh
You know,
my
I had
god.
to
was
think
just
again too, but
lost.
I can confirm, I could corroborate with Tommy there that he said if I can knock him out.
I appreciate
If
that.
I can knock him out.
I
Exactly.
appreciate
See,
that.
you guys get it.
See, it's his accent. It's just I can't interpret that.
That
It's
Eastern
pretty out.
Carolina
That-
draw,
yeah.
you know.
I mean,
They
I'm
call
from
it
Canada.
Tidewater.
I'm from Cleveland. It's right across the lake, you know.
Yeah. We're blood
Talk
brothers
exactly the
here.
same.
Exactly the same. No, but actually, we talked behind the scenes about that show that you played with Grog, Shadows, A Dear Horse, The Wicked Witch, and you played your entire upcoming record like back to front, right?
We played all the new songs
All the
that we
new
have,
songs, yeah.
minus some
So
new
how many is
ideas.
that?
Well, we played 3 songs that night.
Not
so
enough.
we're going for an EP. So
Okay.
we have 2 more songs that aren't quite ready to be revealed.
Yeah, and you never know what'll happen because when we went in for Decolonize, we had 4 songs until
Logan
Someone's
just showed
calling
up
in?
with
2
Dirty
weeks.
Thirst.
2 weeks before.
Yeah, Logan
And
just
then-
like showed up with Dirty Thirst.
Yeah,
like in his work uniform, just like
And
on the
then-
bass, and just like pretty much wrote the whole song on the
That's
spot,
tight.
and then boom, and it's our favorite song to play live now. you
So
know?
now, Sans Logan, how do you write music?
Hmm.
Also, someone is very viciously calling in,
Go-
like
well-
this little like ringing in
Well,
button.
what's up? Tell me it's Michael Bumble.
Put him on. Put him on.
I cannot confirm or deny. Let me
Caller?
let me take a 30-second air break and we'll find out.
Okay.
And we're back. Whoever called, left me high and dry. I put on an air break to answer the phone, and they were not there when I picked up the line. So, mystery man or woman or they'dy, ladies and gentlethems, call back. I wanted to hear your sweet voice and compliments to the chefs, Baking Company. Anyways.
I know it was you, Michael Bumble.
I know it was you. The sweetest gentledom of all time.
Yes.
They're like, stop saying my name on the air.
You're gonna out me. Actually, I've never seen them get that angry, so
No,
that
it's
wasn't
impossible.
even. That's not even a good comparison. But anyways, back to Baking Company and not all of the other bands that we've been name dropping. This interview is very much like, let's talk about everyone else who's so cool and not Baking Company. You were talking about your music, your writing style.
Yeah, I think how it started out, it was kind of like, so pretty much how it started out was it was Tommy, Jeff, and Logan in a storage unit. And I was just like, I want to start a band. You guys aren't in a band and you're all really good and you're just like playing in a shed. They were literally shedding when I found them. So I was
Shredding
like,
in
why
the
don't you
shed.
just, why don't you
Shred
just
shed.
like, I got a few songs
We
and we're
were
very
working
good.
on stuff.
You were working on stuff.
We had a band.
That was disrespectful of me. You were in
Yeah,
a band called
I
the
know.
LRAs, but you guys didn't play a lot of shows, and I
No,
was worried
at
you
that
had
point,
wasted talent.
At
you know?
that point, it was the juice box experiment,
Yo, that was some
That's
ill
tight.
which was gonna
I
be
really
like
wish that.
some. I don't know what it was. It
Can
was
you
like
unwrap that name for me?
I don't know if the FCC's cool with it. Let's just
It's not. First off, this is how square Tommy is. It's not that juicy. The juice box experiment name. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
We'll have to talk about it on break.
Okay. So I kind of came in with like really crummy songs, and then Logan and I started writing songs, and they got much better. And then we kind of just started like jamming on stuff, and doing that thing. And then it got a little bit more creatively driven, like from the drums perspective, because Dave came into the band, and Dave was actually like
Dave got the riffs.
for real, and Dave was dictating a lot of the direction with the
He
drum
plays
patterns.
through the drums.
And Dave seriously like is probably one of the most like creative people like through the drums that I know. Like it's awesome to write music.
How do you
with
feel
Dave.
about that?
He's making me blush.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, your mic was
my
off.
mic was off.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I'm all flushed now.
We muted Dave. He's back though. Yeah. But that's kind of how it
We had to
started.
censor him.
Yeah,
He's off
yeah.
the rails.
And so now it's kind of still we all just kind of come in with ideas now, and we don't. I think our one of our rules is that we don't say no to something. We all always try to find a way into whatever idea we're bringing
So
to the table.
how do you eliminate things? Is it just that y'all bring in like a limited amount of ideas,
If
or
how we eliminate things is playing it live, I think. Because
Really?
if people don't react to it live the way we hear it in our head, then we were wrong, I think. So
but
we
you
just
spend
drop
all of
stuff.
that time like writing a whole song?
Like we'll write a song and then we'll play it a couple times. Like get it down. Everyone kind of writes their respective parts,
You
and
get
then
like a
it's like,
framework.
all right, that worked or that didn't work. Or like, yo, like what if we did it like this, or what if we did something like this, and we'll kind of just like flounder for a while and try to
Well,
come up.
Shut
boom,
water.
stick, boom, stick,
Yeah,
stick, boom.
It can be yeah. It can be like an iterative thing when like for the last song that we wrote, it was mostly random stuff that I came up with, but it was half of that got discarded
Yeah.
and
And
it
actually,
just
it was
ended up as a more like succinct.
it was funny
like
with
3
that.
minute.
With that
track.
song particularly, I was actually ran into Missy Things at Cup of Joe, and I was kind of talking about how like we were, like struggling with some songs, we've been like rewriting stuff. And her face when I said we were rewriting stuff, she's like, "Oh, like, maybe you don't gotta rewrite, just like, oh, you're rewriting stuff." And I was just like, "Yeah, you know what? We got this. We don't gotta rewrite stuff. We're just gonna do it with heart because
I
we're
like that
Heartland
one.
rockers, man."
Yeah.
Thanks, Missy.
Thanks, Missy. So I know that Double Barrel is still, I think it's exactly 64 days away.
Stoked. Woo.
I know. It's going to
Can't
fly
believe we're
by.
playing.
It's going to fly by. It for real will. I know it's like 64 days away, so you may not be able to answer this question concretely, but of someone who's going to the show, whether they know Vacant Company or not, what kind of stuff can they expect? Someone is calling again.
Let's get him in.
Hold that question.
Come on.
Is it Diego?
So we're going to name drop Michael Bumbalo one more time because this whole time we thought that they were calling in. It was not. It was one of our dear, sweet listeners over at the NC Central Prison. They are a devoted audience. And
We
they were
see you, we love you.
We see you, we love you, but they were probably calling for Erica's show over at the Butcher Shop because they love that chainsaw rock.
I just got really sad. I thought they were calling in for us.
You know, maybe they were. Maybe
Okay.
they were.
We could be on
feel like-
Chainsaw Rock, right?
You could. I mean, y'all are
can
in our
sneak in
chainsaw
there.
rotation.
Oh, see?
Wait, really?
Yes.
Nice.
You don't understand. Tommy just got blessed right there.
Yeah.
He's so happy.
I can see the Jesus rays coming down from the heavens.
But it's like the Slayer Jesus, like off of their Repentless album cover.
Oh, he's covered in blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus with his beautiful long hair, perfectly sculpted calves.
Supple,
hey, I'm doing it again. Sorry.
rippling shoulder muscles.
Flawlessly Eurocentric, straight nose.
Right.
Anyways, I deeply apologize for interrupting. You were talking about that conversation you had with Missy Thangs over at Cup of Joe, how she influenced you to not change up your writing style, but it also references how you get rid of things and like cycle through things that work or don't work. And then I asked what could people, so this is for anyone who's just tuning in, I asked what could people expect over at Double Barrel in 2020, even though it is over 60 days away. You may not be able to concretely answer this, but what is a Vacant Company show like, and what are you going to do at Double Barrel?
Well, we definitely have some new songs that are going to be like all right and tight by that time.
Nice.
And we've been kind of working on some stuff that is just like, I don't know, it still has that kind of hardcore, post-hardcore thing, but it has like this industrial, like break dance beat parts to it that is just like, I don't know
Brutal
how I feel
Jr.
about
is
it.
quivering in their boots.
I know, and that's
Treading
another
on their territory.
That's another band people got to be on the lookout for is Brutal Jr. right there. And but yeah, kind of going back to like what our influences are. Like Dan Morales from Brutal Jr. is like a close friend of ours, and he's like a musical genius practically. And we're always just taking notes from each other, and I think that's
And
what
also
I like.
John Mayer, insane drummer.
Yeah, former Naked Nats.
Former
It's how
Naked
small
Nat-
Raleigh World is.
He's
Like I literally
in the
moved in
shed.
here and he
He's
was
in the
across.
shed right now. I know it.
Yeah, John Mayer is in a storage unit somewhere playing drums
I
right
know
now.
this for
I
a
promise
fact.
you.
I have
Call in,
seen
John.
John Mayer play so many different shows and so many different bands, but it was not until I saw him play in Brutal Jr. that I had like this out of body experience, and I was like, he shreds.
Yeah.
Like I knew that he was a good drummer because duh, he's in so many projects and like duh, obviously. But like it was after I saw Brutal Jr. that I was like, this man,
He doesn't blink.
he does not.
He just
Yeah.
kills it.
And I know that I said you can go first.
This might be a little known fact, but I think I remember hearing, because the first show I ever played, I was like doing a solo set to open a house show in a backyard with like a ramp, the old green ramp, and Naked Naps played, and that was when
Nice.
I met John. And I think it was that day he was telling me he learned how to play drums for Naked Naps.
That's
Like
mind blowing.
yeah, I couldn't understand that as somebody who's like played since I was like 12 or 13, like, couldn't even touch half of those licks that he was working
I
on.
hate John Mayer. I don't like him. I do not like this man. No, I deeply appreciate and respect John. It's just you're not allowed to be that good in that short of a period of time.
It's gonna sound crazy, and I don't want to digress because I really want to talk about Double Barrel. John Mayer was the first drummer of Vacant Company,
Really?
technically, because the very first show we played, I played with Vacant
Can you
Company.
imagine how
playing-
different things would be?
I know.
Y'all would be signed by now.
And yeah, I know, seriously. And but we played at Mattress for it, and it was Chris Bennett from Ghost Blonde on bass,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
John Mayer on drums, and I was barely being able to play guitar to my own songs, and they were just just nice people that like played my crappy songs with me, and we still play one of those songs to this day.
Nice.
But Bad
That
Boys,
deep cut
yeah.
that you mentioned earlier in the interview.
Yeah. But and it's just like I don't know. I'm just very grateful for the community around us, and I like that me, Davis, Tommy Logan, like we're not stubborn people, we're not stubborn writers, and we're always open to like our community's feedback and our friends' feedback on just like art, politics, whatever. Just how those things come together. So I'm just grateful to be playing Double Barrel because to me that's just like the pinnacle of like our community is
Yeah.
this college radio station and this event, and we've always been going to it. We've always been spending our last dollars to give to this cause, and just like being able to play is just like, it really, really is awesome to us. So
Personal anecdote, I am beyond stoked for Double Barrel this year. I mean, obviously, as general manager, I get to like do a lot to put it together. But I also have like a killer staff working with me this time. Okay, I'm going to get into this personal anecdote and then we can get back to Vacant Company. I cut my teeth in local music when I was still in high school. I just like had friends who were involved in stuff, but I didn't really like do much of anything. And then my freshman year of college, I was going back and forth between Charlotte and Raleigh because all of my friends were in Charlotte and that was the music scene that I was involved in. And there was this band that I just absolutely fell in love with out there. And I used to like, I would like beg people to give me rides because I didn't have a solid car back then, or they would play 21 and up venues and I would like try to like get in somehow, anyhow. And I was just so into them. Junior Astronomers is that band.
Wow.
And so like to come full circle and be able to like manage a college
booked
radio
them.
station and then book the band that like got me into DIY is insane. And then like being a part of like the local music scene in Raleigh and seeing Vacant Company, like I don't think you all understand how important y'all are to like my own little like musical influence. I listen to Decolonize on a weekly basis, I would say, possibly more. Literally, yes. Swallow, like spit up the humble pie, Jason. Like, I cannot allow this.
I'm just, you know,
It's like, it's so insane to me that I get to like work on such a cool event and have like the dream lineup, which starts with Vacant Company, ends with Truth Club, and has so many of my favorite bands
Sheesh,
in the middle. It's like a big old sandwich of my hopes and dreams shoved into 2 nights, and you can get it for only $22. All this can be yours.
$22.
Dollars.
Seriously, that's
22 USD, and you can.
That's a lot of
all
awesome
this.
bands for not that much cash.
Not that much cash. Which leads into my next question. Do any of y'all have any particularly favorite memories of like the Raleigh or Greater North Carolina music scene that you feel comfortable sharing?
Wow. I know Tommy grew up in Durham. He definitely probably has some good memories. this year.
This kind of ties back into your story, your personal anecdote. Back when we were living at
Very literary.
at the Kosher Hut, and I grew up in Durham listening to KNC, and I wasn't super involved in the local music scene, but I always loved a band called Hammer No More the Fingers that I'm sure a lot of people that are listening.
I got
7 of them.
mushrooms growing in my closet. Let's go.
That's kind of related
baby.
to Juice Box Experiment, but anyways. And then they played our house, and it's like now I'm on like a first name basis with those dudes, and like,
That's
yo,
insane,
like
yeah.
this is crazy. Like, so just like being this kid who fancied himself a guitar player, and then being able to play shows and book shows, and then meet these guys who are your heroes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I
Like,
hesitate to
that
say
was my favorite.
heroes for people that I'm like affiliated with in the local music scene, because there's so much like importance and emphasis that I put on like the music that people put out, because it can be so impactful to a bunch of different people in different ways, because although a lot of music that's put out is emotionally charged and has like personal significance to the author of said music, or I should say composer, music has this incredible ability of changing anyone's worldview, and even if you're interpreting it quote unquote wrong from how it was originally intended, it has a special connection to like you, the listener. And I definitely think that like Vacant Company and Junior Astronomers, and we even mentioned Travis from Truth Club, are all like minor heroes to me, and then getting to be like friends with them and then notice them as like whole human beings with flaws and goals and interests. It's a really both empowering and psychologically engaging experience that I have on a daily basis being involved in DIY. And I think that Raleigh has a lot of really cool stuff going on. So like DBB being one of them, it is so insane to get to make an impact on my community in this way, which leads to the next question. Flawless segue. Go me.
Nice. It's like the Stairway to Heaven over here. It's
Right
just-
over there, it's just one after another, just building on top of each other. As I mentioned earlier, y'all are very like politically oriented, and you each do a lot of cool things with, at least with, I mean, at least with your music, without commenting on your own personal lives and endeavors. when writing music that is politically charged and stuff, what matters most to you, and how do you discern of all of the issues to discuss? Why do you choose to talk about the ones that you do, and how, to whatever degree you're comfortable, how do they relate to you, and if like things like that? Definitely answer this question as little as you would like to, as it can be heavy-handed.
I definitely think that it's just like the things that we talk about in our music are issues that have been there for a long time, that marginalized people and people of color have been saying since the 60s, the 70s, and nobody's been listening. And the fact that we're just getting around to it now, and like we talk about it in our music, still doesn't seem like enough to me.
Right.
But that tells me that there's nothing else to sing about then, if that's the starting point. So that's kind of what pushes me when I think about, these larger social conscious issues and art, which, you can't really make true art if you're not conscious of what's going on around you and your position in it,
Art without purpose is just an object.
Yeah. And I mean, it's and I recognize that, like, being for white dudes that are making this kind of music that is politically charged
is a privilege in itself.
Yeah, and we are the object of our own critique.
Right.
And like, I have to be both comfortable and not comfortable with that, and just keep pushing forward.
Which I think to a degree probably fuels the type of music that y'all make. It is gritty, and it bears a lot of weight both on the listener and the creator. Yeah,
and it's just like it has to be reflective. Do you know what I mean? Because white people started racism, but, black folks can tell you exactly how it works and like what the F you got to do right now, and if you don't listen to that and you don't channel that and you don't spread that to your other white folk,
you're complicit.
Then nothing's ever going to, the progress isn't going to move fast enough for the people that need progress to happen.
Absolutely.
So like,
it is a life or death situation.
I try to be aware of that through the music, but then at the same time, that lights the fire that, like, saying that it's just not enough to make this music, it's just necessary to use this platform to make that music.
Absolutely. It's just another avenue of like social change.
Yeah. And then maybe after that, the songs are good to listen to too, maybe.
They do rock.
So,
and you know what? That could be your whole your conspiracy, your ulterior motive. Make music that sounds good so people have to listen to your social change propaganda.
See, yeah, there we go.
I
don't know what he's saying when he's screaming all the time.
my mother,
truly,
like,
y'all, okay, not to be mean, but y'all need to get the lyrics up.
I know.
I swear.
I know.
I like, Jake and I sing Dirty Thirst in the car regularly, and we'll start off the spoken word and be like, every morning I make a list, and then cut out. That's all I got. It's like, every morning I make a list.
And then I
wake up
bury the
and
list.
make another list.
Buries it or something. What kind of list is it? Groceries?
And then I get to the bottom and I make another list. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's just me buying groceries.
That song's that's the one that's not
hippos.
political. That one's just about groceries.
These
Yeah,
kids
Dirty
can't
Thirst
feed
is
themselves.
just-
I gotta cook for them.
I cook and I clean and
I cook, I clean. I'm tired.
and nobody helps around
Nobody
here.
helps me.
Where are my gloves?
Tommy chopped the garlic. The other night, a deer horse was in town, and we all had a big feast at the
I
house.
saw.
And Tommy chopped the garlic,
All of it.
and he did a pretty
All of
good job.
it.
Your hands smell like
Thank
garlic.
you.
Garlic hand.
Yeah.
They always do.
And
Ew.
I'm
Big
just,
time Tommy,
I'm just a proud Nona right now. You know that, Tommy? Come here. Let me give you a kiss.
Mwah.
They
That
could
was
see that on the
romantic.
radio, right?
Yeah.
But that's the long-winded response to your
I don't
question.
think there is a way to properly like say that concisely.
I feel like I should have answered it in post-hardcore shouty voice. Like,
just back up from the mic a little bit.
It's my bird.
He just ripped his headphone cord
I
out.
ripped it out.
Yank.
It broke.
Oh, well, they're not WKNC headphones.
Ming, I broke my headphones.
But we are almost at the 1 hour mark for this interview, actually, which is insane because when you walked in, I was like, 20, 30 minutes. It's going to be one and done.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies. I really thought you said Tom flies when you're having fun, which is...
Tommy flies on the guitar. I don't know if you ever heard him play. He's pretty good.
Thanks,
got
man.
riffs.
Thanks, man.
You do, in fact, got riffs. There was so much I could have covered. Vacant Company is a... and I know you're gonna sit in the corner and you're gonna like self-flagellate just from all the to make up for all the compliments you're getting. But Vacant Company is a very complex and unique band within Raleigh at the very least. And you do so much for the music scene and to give back to the community in general. And I am so stoked to have y'all on the lineup. There is literally not a better band that I could think of to kick off Double Barrel 17. If you have any last final words, comments, shout outs, or anything you'd like to make before we sign off, I will finish off the interview by playing both Decolonize and Stains on the Pavement. And then we can just get out of here. And this interview will come out in a podcast in a couple days. But go ahead and wrap up. Say whatever you'd like to.
Yeah, support local music, support college radio, vote local, vote in your local elections.
Absolutely.
If you're furious at Donald Trump, your first line of defense against him is your local politicians.
Absolutely.
If this isn't a sanctuary city, then guess what? People who are in your marginalized communities or undocumented are at risk. So vote in your local elections, and obviously, keep on rocking. Keep on rocking in the free world rally. What do you got, Big Time Tommy?
The rock don't stop.
I'm gonna leave you all with my thought of the day. I was kidding. No, shout out to Big Time Tommy.
It's his one thought of the day. This is his thought.
There is a real Big Time Tommy. Go check him out. But
we don't know if we should cheer him. I don't know.
Okay,
We're not sure about
maybe
Big Time
not. If
Tommy.
you like,
That's a call to action.
We
if
don't
you
endorse
want,
Big Time
if you
Tommy,
would
we just
like,
feel-
take it. Anyways,
Take
no,
it easy.
no. On a serious note, though, I guess just everybody. I feel like when the current political climate is feeling maybe very hopeless, and I think just trying to spread love and positivity and be there for your fellow friends and community members is really important, and not to let yourself get isolated and beat down by the world,
All the leaves are
so yeah,
brown,
going to
the
shows
leaves
is a big part of that.
And the sky is gray.
And the sky is gray.
All the
Davis is looking up. He's Googling his response right now on his phone. What was that, Dave?
Hold on, I'll stall him, Dave.
Yeah, I was looking up how to pronounce certain words.
he's typing it out in a paragraph to read it off the thing. That's
Blazing
proper
Dave.
microphone etiquette.
Blazing Dave.
I thought you said days and days, and I was like, crust
No,
punk.
Dave's nickname is Blazing Dave. That's
I
his
love
nickname.
that.
Yeah.
I
He's
love
fast.
that. He's trailblazing.
He is.
I just want to give a big shout out to Kings for being a very awesome venue. and for hosting
absolutely.
this.
Stoked to be there literally tomorrow night.
Paul,
That-
Chidi, Kate Van Vorst, much love.
Like outside on the sidewalk outside of Kings is like where I've met most of my friends in music, first friends in music in Raleigh.
Highly can agree.
Open container law is very
And,
important to the scene.
Also,
They're also one of the only all ages venues in the area.
Yep. Crucial.
Which is extremely important,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the recession of house venues that we have going on right now.
For real.
It is really important that youth involvement keeps the scene going. Obviously, longtime bands are incredibly important because they are testaments to what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not accessible, I don't want it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
and
Sorry, Davis.
one more thing.
Spit it out, Dave.
Listen to Slint.
Yeah.
Davis
Which I
stepped
guess also
outside.
means listening to vacant companies. For
You know what?
I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, it'd probably be a good idea.
That was not
That's
a
a
call
good
to
idea.
action, for the record. Not a call to action.
Tweez,
Absolutely
not a very great record.
Yeah, go in with that
Tweez, not at.
that post Spiderland demo Slint.
Damn, Dave is getting excited over here. You should have seen his face. He was like, oh, yeah, licking his lips. About to go lock himself in his room and listen to Slint for
That's-
4 hours.
Before Max and I were dating or whatever, we would ugh, I can't believe I'm saying this over the air. We would flirt by sending each other's favorite albums over.
Aw.
And one of our first dates was he played his favorite Slint record for me, and then I played one of my favorite records, and we would just go back and forth or whatever.
Wow, see, Slint
Slint
ties
brings
us
them
all
together.
together.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Wow.
But so does Vacant Company. So if anyone wanted to, you know what, 20 years from now, Raleigh old heads, our kids are going to be they're going to listen to Vacant Company the same way that I listen to Polvo.
Wow.
I'm calling it now. I'm calling the shots. So
And we're going to be on a Learjet somewhere, just yeah,
remember the days
Doubt that.
eating pizza on the
Man.
sidewalk.
You remember we had nothing. We were just playing basements. We had nothing, man. We had nothing.
and you'll be sitting in your jet and be like, I still have nothing.
Man, that was hardcore. That was hardcore.
You know what? You'll eventually become the boomer that's like, punk is dead. Punk's not dead. It's just not yours anymore.
No. I think a band that's keeping punk alive and keeping it fresh and keeping it like hip to the times is Pie Face Girls, and also a band called
another DBB alumni.
and also a band called Show Me the Body. They're from New York, so yeah.
And they did a split with Full of Hell, who released a killer album this year.
Minya, that's just like
Just
how do you
bouncing
do that?
off of each other. Yeah. But I was going to say, wrap things up. Where can people connect with y'all on social media? Where can they find your music? I told Davis to tell you to get it on Apple Music, and it still isn't there yet.
Well, we are going to be on Apple in 2020. You can find us at Instagram. You can find us on Spotify. I'm embarrassed to share how many hours people listened to us on Spotify last year. I don't know. I thought I paid for the most expensive package. But yeah, you can find us on Bandcamp. Find us on Spotify, YouTube.
13 hours.
We might have a MySpace profile, but I don't know if... Do we? No, I don't know. And also, come to the show. Come out and see local music. Double Barrel.
Y'all are playing the Poorhouse on New Year's Eve with an incredibly killer lineup that you mentioned earlier. Other than that, do you have any shows in 2020 before DBB?
Well, we're going to be doing a little tour up the way. We have to settle that up. We have a lot of things we got to lock down, but we are going to be heading up the East Coast. So if you're up there, look for dates. And that's all we got on the books right now. We got to finish this record. You know what I'm saying? Finish this record.
Well, I am.
Tommy's speechless. He's just like,
we're never gonna finish it.
I don't know how we're ever gonna do any of this.
I am so stoked to hear it when it comes out. Very excited for y'all to play Double Barrel Benefit. I keep trying to wrap this up, and there's just so much we could talk about. You are an electric group, both plugged in on the stage and in the mics. I hate myself for saying that sentence. Thank you to all of our friends who tuned in. Excited to see everyone at Double Barrel Benefit. Y'all have already said your final statements. I'm not gonna let you do it again.
We're done.
We're out of here. I'm going to play 2 Vacant Company songs, one after another. We're going to do Decolonize first and then Stains on the Pavement. This has been WKNC 88.1 on HD2. After these last 2 songs, we're just going to go straight into Nighttime Indie. So check it out. Thank you so much.
Wasted time for
Waste of space.
space.
I become safe.
shell souls. I watch Superman. I avoided the flesh with temporal things. For the most part, I felt alright. But their bodies were cold, and the feet swole. And then when they saw the new land ahead, when they felt the sun, ship, they crossed the dock, they boarded the train, and dispersed across the